Hey gang, welcome to an all-new episode of Devall's Collection Expansion Extravaganza right here on ToyWorldOrder.com. Welcome my wonderful co-host, Carrie Devall.
Hello.
Very good. Last time I forgot to introduce her.
I was just going to say that. I was like, wait a minute.
I was more concerned about telling you while I was stooping.
That's okay. I think
Not
by
pooping,
now...
stooping.
I think by now people know who I am.
Yeah, good call. I would hope so. Well, we've got some cool stuff for you this time around, gang. We've got some stuffed animals, so let's start there. One of the things we found was this awesome, I think that's a Hasbro Softie.
It is?
It is a Hasbro Softie of Cookie Monster from, oh God, that's early 80s. I know that 83.
No year.
83 or 84. I know we saw it in a Sears Wish book recently that I purchased that Carrie was looking through, and she's like, hey, we have that Cookie Monster. I was like, yes, we do. These were kind of neat, though. I don't know why in the 80s most of the Sesame Street figures like this, of this size from Hasbro, decided to put shirts on them to tell you who they were. Not that you couldn't tell who he was, especially by that point in the 80s, it had been around for a while. So it's not like you couldn't tell who Cookie Monster was, but they decided to put shirts on them to tell you who they were. And I think we've got another one from this line. I'm not sure who it is, a Bert or an Ernie that has his shirt on it that says Bert or Ernie,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny. So Cookie Monster's kind of cute though. He's really soft. He's got the googly eyes, you know, of Cookie Monster. He's got a little bit of dirt in his fur, but overall his little string on top of his head that would have hung him from a hook is broke. That's all right, no big deal there. But overall, he's still really soft, and he's in really good shape other than just a little dirt in his face. So this little Cookie Monster's kind of cute.
That dirt's probably cookie crumbs.
Probably, and he has a little rattle in his googly eyes.
He does, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he has a little rattle in him. It's kind of neat. So these are fun to find. If you find these out in the wild, these are kind of cool to pick up. Usually I think we got him for a quarter. Usually you can find him for pretty cheap unless you go to like an antique store and somebody wants $25, $30 for him, and then that's too much to spend on a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Let's move on. This next one actually came from my buddy Dave Draper, who never bothered to tell us that he had such a thing. And we are going to open him. Actually, you could probably just open him now.
We're going to open him?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can open him. These were McDonald's exclusives to Canada in the 90s. I want to say this was 96, 97. Am I right on 97? Oh, 95, I was close. 95, 96, 95. These were actually only available in Canada. You can only buy them in the Great White Way there. But they were Muppets figures all dressed up as in hockey gear. So of course you had Fozzie. We have the Kermit from this line because I bought him in Canada that year. But there's also Piggy, Animal.
We had those three, and we needed this one. I did not know that Dave had it.
Yep. And when we set up at the last one of the last Toyman shows, Dave was emptying stuff onto his table, and I was like, you didn't tell me you had that. I didn't think you wanted it. I thought you had it. I don't have him. So I cursed Dave's name and then grabbed him, and I was like, I'm taking this. I didn't buy it, I took it. So you have $2 on it, I'm taking it. I can owe you $2 somewhere down the road. But very, very cool little stuffed animals. Nice little Muppets collectibles for any fan out there. Usually you'll find them and they're missing their hockey sticks because they all had, they all had hockey sticks. This one actually, his hockey stick goes over here. So you can see the actual Easton hockey stick. It was all taped up and banged up. But they all had hockey sticks, they all had helmets. So usually the helmets, which are only held on by sewn-in string, are gone. The hockey sticks are usually missing. I know our friend Alex McKay in Canada is on the lookout for the other ones that we need. And unfortunately, he said that you'll probably be missing the hockey sticks for them, which understandable, but I'll find them eventually. But this little hockey Fozzie's kind of cute, and Carrie loves the Muppets, so of course I was going to bring him home. Little Fozzie. Let's move on. I got a couple of odd things
I
here.
feel crowded.
A little bit.
I feel really crowded.
A little bit.
Like I can't breathe.
You're fine. Okay, let me scoot over there. There we go.
Okay.
So
Too many toys.
it's never too many toys. Never too many toys.
Well, and they can't see what's behind this bar, but there's toys everywhere down here.
We literally have just a little bit
of
of
a maze.
We have a clearing space for our feet to move around, and that's
I feel like
that's
I'm
about it.
Okay.
So everybody knows that Carrie loves Happy Meal toys. That's kind of what's, frankly, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I created a monster. A monster. How bad, Devall, you ask? Well, so bad to the fact that the last flea market we went to and we saw somebody with a huge table full of nothing but flea market or Happy Meal toys, McDonald's toys, fast food restaurant toys, and boxes full of the stuff. I literally asked them, how much for all of it?
Okay, but you didn't create a monster, because if you did, I would have been like, we're buying that. But instead I was like, no, we're not getting those.
That day, she said no. Other days, she said, oh my God, I must have all of them.
But I don't really want them all.
One of the things we found at an estate sale in St. Louis that we went to was the lady that we went to the estate sale. She was a McDonald's executive, and she had 40 years of accumulation. And of course, with her being a McDonald's executive, literally had just about a set or more of every McDonald's toys from the 80s on to probably when she retired.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how many sets of stuff that we picked up, and they were in sets. They were in big Ziploc bags like this, big old Ziploc bags full of toys.
We can put it into perspective. Each bag was $25, and we spent almost $80. Now, not all of that was the Happy Meal toys. There were some stuffed animals and some other random things. Most of it was Happy Meal, so you do the math, right?
Yes. I think we counted them up. Was almost.
Oh yeah, we counted them. Oh crap, I can't remember how much it was.
Was it almost 200?
No.
Almost 200 Happy Meal toys, 179?
I don't remember now, shoot.
There's a lot of Happy Meal toys, enough to fill two big old huge bags full of stuff. One of the sets we found were very cool and something that I don't ever remember seeing, but these were called Disneyland Adventures, and these were unique. Yes, we're gonna open these. These were pretty unique. The fact that they were all based off rides on Disneyland or the the actual floats from the parade. So a number of these, like this one.
These are from 94.
94. This Winnie the Pooh one, of course, is the under 3, the child under 3 one. It's based on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh, look, you look through the thing.
Yep.
I'm learning this. I didn't know. Oh, that's
and
neat.
when they have little viewpoints in there, like little mini Viewmasters and little
Do they
lights.
all have the same thing?
No, this one is based on the Lion King parade park, the park parade.
Am I stupid?
And when you look inside, that is the under 3 toy.
Oh, okay.
So when you look inside of Simba, you see an image of the parade.
Wait, so under 3 kids can't have eyes?
They took out the thing. Peter Pan, which is based on the Peter Pan ride, instead of seeing the Peter Pan ride, you actually see a picture of Hook and Peter Pan from Fantasmic.
That's the Jungle Cruise.
Yep, you have King Louie on the Jungle Cruise. It was kind of neat there. Who else we got there? You have, this is Abu from Disneyland's 40th. This was from the Aladdin Oasis, which is now closed. And of course, it shows a picture of the Aladdin Oasis, which was a sit-down dinner theater kind of thing featuring Aladdin characters. This is from Mickey's Toontown for Roger Rabbit's Toontown Spin.
Oh, I hate that ride.
And of course, you look in there and it's an image of Toontown. Yeah, Carrie does not like stuff that spins.
Oh, that ride.
And then you've got Splash Mountain. So these were all for Disney's 40th anniversary. Nice. And Splash Mountain, of course, shows a picture of Splash Mountain. These are very cool. There were 6 of them. Actually, there were more than 6. There's a Mickey we're missing, but we have, who I don't think I just grabbed. But Mickey is on the toboggan from Space Mountain, and it's a picture of Space Mountain. So there were 6 all together in the under 3 toy, and these are really neat collectibles. We've made it an effort now since we've been going out to find these, since we have books and now such that show off all of the Happy Meal toys. We've been marking them off in the books as we find them, and we've been making an effort to find all the under 3 toys too, because usually those are the ones that you don't see out in the wild. You see more of the actual Happy Meal toys than you see the under 3 ones. So we've kind of made an effort to complete a number of different collections, which we've completed a lot. So these are very cool. If you find these out in the wild, these are nice to have. We saw these.
Yeah, they're really neat to look at.
Especially if you're.
The pictures are very clear.
Especially if you're a Disneyland fan like we are. And these were for Disneyland's 40th anniversary. And we went our first big date together as a, not a married couple, but as a couple, as a dating couple. I took Carrie to Disneyland's 50th anniversary. So, and I'm sure when
That was my first
trip really anywhere.
Well,
no, you went to Disney World.
My
but
first plane ride.
Carrie's first plane flight, that was bad. Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
Lots of crying. Not for me. For this one. Lots of tears. Lots of hurt hands. There was lots of squeezing.
Not a fan of airplanes.
Carrie doesn't like to fly. I don't mind it so much. I figure if you're going to die in a plane, you're going to die in a car anyway, so who cares? And if you're in a plane, you're going to die, nothing you can do about it. Just smile and go, woohoo! So, anyway. These are fun, though. If you find these out in the wild, I suggest picking them up because they are really cool, especially for Disneyland aficionados. These are fun collectibles. So, let's move on. I got another odd thing to show you. Any sci-fi fan, worth their amount in gold on their knowledge of sci-fi movies and books, knows the story of Dune. Now, Dune, of course, they made a movie featuring Dune that actually had Sting in it, among other people.
Sting, hold on. The singer or the wrestler? What's so funny? Wait, is he on the cover? No. Oh, there he is. Okay, it's the singer. I didn't know. How am I supposed to know? There's a wrestler too, right? Well, then why are you making fun of me? That could be easily mistaken.
Oh my goodness. As well as Sir Patrick Stewart from Star Trek The Next Generation. Yeah, stand there. I actually found a Dune coloring book, which was kind of interesting, I thought. And I'm not a big fan of this movie, so no one kicked me because I know this is a huge sci-fi fan favorite. The book's okay. I like the book. I don't like the movie. The movie's kind of crappy. Not a lot of people like the movie. But they did do a number of licensing things for the movie.
This is when I start to feel crowded again.
And of course, the coloring book.
Let me do it that way.
Coloring book's got great art in it. I mean, just great line art, hand-drawn art.
It hasn't been colored in.
Nope, nothing's been colored in this one.
Usually we find coloring books and at least 1 or 2 pages has been colored in.
I know. But I love coloring books like this because they're just very cool, especially based on movie properties. They make me smile a little bit. So Dune coloring book, very cool. I think I paid $1 for it. And I've seen this Dune coloring book now at different shows. People asking like $20-$30 for said Dune coloring book. So it's kind of hard to find in decent shape. So, and I was very happy to find said Dune coloring book. So very cool. Let me show you some Lunchboxes before we get to the action figures. First up is something I like to call Cabbage Patch Kids. It's actually Cabbage Patch Kids, based from Xavier Roberts in the 80s. Everyone knows the story. I lived through it. The wars and the beatings in the toy aisles going for Cabbage Patch Kids. But we actually found this in the lot of the auction we talked about last show, was this awesome Cabbage Patch Kids plastic lunchbox.
Right, now, let's clarify. We don't collect Cabbage Patch Kids. We're not really Cabbage Patch Kids fans. This just happened to come with the other 3 lunchboxes that we got, and it kind of goes with our 80s thing.
And it's not that bad.
So we kept it, but we do not collect Cabbage Patch Kids.
No. But it came with a thermos. Thermos is a little dirty. The lunchbox itself got some scuffs on it, but the artwork on the front is in perfect condition.
From 1983.
Yep, 83. So this was a fun little find, and not that I really wanted it. I wanted the other 3 over this one. That the lot came in, but so I'll take this one because they were $5. So what are you gonna do? Cabbage Patch Kids lunchbox, very cool though, and again in nice condition overall. One more, and this is the cool one. This is the one I like. Now understand with this one, the label is a little beat up, but I don't see plastic lunchboxes like this very often. I see the metal one a lot, and the metal one goes for a lot of money. So it's kind of a treat to find the plastic lunchbox. But this is the Masters of the Universe plastic lunchbox. I believe this is from '83 as well. And as you can see, the label is a little beat up. It's a little torn, it's coming up a little bit down here. It's been peeling along the sides a little bit there, the artwork, but this isn't going to be used or washed anymore, so there's no real worry of it peeling anymore. The lunchbox itself is in really nice condition other than a little rusting on the tip there. And of course it does have the thermos, and the thermos is in really nice condition, and it's He-Man and Skeletor battling in front of Castle Grayskull. And it's just in an awesome condition with some great artwork of Stratos and Tila and He-Man and Skeletor and actual Castle Grayskull. Very cool lunchbox, and one that I've been looking for a while now, especially the plastic ones, because again, you see the metal ones, you hardly ever see the plastic ones. So this was very fun to find, and again, the lot of 4 we paid $5 for.
Yeah, so this was like $1.25 or something.
You can't beat that, right? So very cool. This is going to have a nice spot once I get the lunchboxes all situated on the lunchbox shelf. So I'm looking forward to it. With the lunchbox out of the way, let's look at one of everyone's favorite things, which are the action figures. Now, Playmates is known for one major line, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 80s and 90s. They also did a line of Addams Family figures based on the cartoon show, which was in turn based on the films. And I found a number of these figures mint on card. I found Gomez, who's very cool. And these figures all had little action features. Gomez has a little fencing vest that has Thing attached to it and a sword. And I believe that he had a button on his back, if I remember correctly, and you squeeze his legs, and Gomez thrusts his arm out and waves his hand. So he would thrust his sword. I found Lurch. So he came with garden hedge clippers and a Thing holding a noose. And Lurch was push the button in his back, and Lurch raises his massive arms while his mouth opens to unleash his growl, his famous groan. So he does actually make noises. He actually does go. Cute little figure. Found Uncle Fester, who has Dynamite and Thing holding the TNT thing, and his fingers all bandaged up. But if you push his head down, squeeze his legs up, Uncle Fester's head pops up with another hair-raising idea. So that was kind of cute. And then I found loose, missing her little Thing accessory, Morticia. Morticia, you can kind of see the articulation on these. They didn't have a whole lot of articulation. Morticia bends, both of her legs are one molded piece and they bend at the waist, her arms move. But she also has, her little action feature was these little slide out vines that slid out from the insides of her dress, just like that. So she had these little like attack vines, like they look like little seaweed. Kind of cute though. That was about all she did. But these are actually really well sculpted and well designed figures. They actually look a little bit better than the animated version of them. These are actually a little bit more easy to look at. Of course, she moved at the waist too, but these are fun to find. I need to find Pugsley and Granny. Wednesday did not come out, nor did Thing or Cousin It. But Uncle Fester and Granny and Pugsley, or Granny and Pugsley, are really the only ones I need. But Morticia came with a Thing holding like a little stump of stuff, so I'm not too concerned about the accessory for Morticia. Haven't decided if I'm going to open these. I probably will because they're kind of yellowed. Yeah, the cards are kind of yellowed. They got some.
This one's starting to.
Yeah, they're starting to peel. They got some mess, and I love I want to display these and play with them because they're really fun characters. So, and like I said, just gorgeous figures, really sculpt wise and everything. Because that Morticia face is beautiful. So, this was a cool line. I got one more Playmates line for you to look at. So let's take a look at that. All right, like I said, one more Playmates line. See, never will I get through an episode without stumbling over my words. Another Playmates line because this mouse did not work correctly.
I think it's because you're just thinking too fast.
I think faster than I can talk sometimes. Playmates line, and this one actually is based on another animated property. This one actually is a Disney line. This one actually is a very rare toy line, though. It's very hard to find loose, complete, sealed. Trust me, Carrie and I have looked, and the sealed stuff on here is like 25, 30 bucks a piece. But these actually were based on Disney's Tailspin animated series. And of course, the figures on this were very, very cool little figures. Figures like Baloo the bear, who has, each figure had a ton of accessories, and they couldn't hold all the accessories, but Baloo has a little backpack he can wear, a little parachute backpack that he can wear, he can put on, just in case Baloo has to jump out of the plane. He can wear his little backpack here. Of course, he's got, articulation, his wrists move, he's got articulation of the elbow, his legs do about that. That's about all they can do. A little bit of scuffing on his chest, but these figures are really, really, really nice. I mean, really well done figures. I'm going to seal that one back up there. So you got Baloo, you've got Kit Cloud Kicker, who we're missing his little surfboard, but pretty much all the rest of his accessories. This kit's kind of neat. Same articulations, all the rest of them. His wrists swivel. He moves the shellbows. His shellbows. He moves his shellbows. Moves at the elbows. His head moves. His legs move. Again, though, Playmates always did a really fine job, and still to this day do a really fine job. If you count out the Terminator Salvation and Star Trek figures, they do a really great job of sculpting and doing their figures. Rebecca, who was the boss of the place that Baloo flew the plane for. She's really just a beautiful figure on her own. Just, again, gorgeous sculpts on these figures. I want to say that his name was Duke LaRue. No, but Duke LaRue was a Showbiz Pizza Place character. I can't remember what the villains' names were, so they escape me right now. So excuse me, but even the villains themselves were just gorgeous, gorgeous characters. All the characters that actually had tails in the show, their tails were articulated. They can move up and down, left and right. That was kind of neat. Same articulation as all the other characters: swivel, wrists, head, shoulders, legs. There's the big guy. He goes back in that bag. This guy goes back in here. And the last two that I've got out of this line, I'm missing one figure out of this line. We're missing Molly, who was the little daughter, the little girl. I've got all of Molly's accessories right there, but no Molly. I haven't been able to find a loose Molly anywhere, but you've got the main general. And of course, King Louie. And King Louie actually had some interesting articulation. He has the same amount as articulation as the other figures, but a little more. His head moves, his feet move, but his arms can actually move 360 and move at the shoulders here in and out. And he's got this movement at his elbows, so it allows him to stand much like an actual monkey would stand. The true-bid-doo, hoop-de-doo, I wanna be like you, wop-de-doo-de-doo, I wanna walk like you, talk like you, who, you know it's true. My Jungle Book theme for you. The Tailspin figures are really cool. Of course, they were based on Walt Disney's Jungle Book animated feature, and it's one of those well-loved Disney afternoon tunes, which is really cool. These are worth finding. I found these at a Toy Man, all together in a bag with all these accessories. And if you're wondering why they're all in these separate Ziploc bags inside of a big Ziploc bag, because I had to separate them to figure out what accessories came with who and who was missing what. Some of the figures are missing some of the accessories, some swords, cloud kickers, little surfboard and such. But for the most part, everything that came with them is here. I had to fix a couple of broken pieces on King Louie's accessories, which wasn't that bad, but all in good shape. And I found them all for 10 bucks, which is a steal, considering when you look on the Evil Bays or you find a dealer who has these, the toys actually are worth quite a bit because they are really rare toys. They're hard to find. It was one of those rare Playmates lines that were just difficult. And of course, the two hardest things to find here are the planes, and those usually go for a couple $100 when they show up loose or in a box. So unless I stumble across those someplace.
Never seen those.
Yeah, I've never seen those. I haven't even seen them on Evil Bay in a long time either. So
Evil Bay.
But these are really fun, cute little figures that are worth not only any action figures collection, but Disney fans as well. So very cool. Let's put these away, and we'll move on to the last two items for this episode, which are board games. The way I like to end it, just right. So let's check those out. Okay, so normally on this show, when we show board games, of course, usually when we show anything, while we're talking about it, you see a nice still image of the item, just so you can see a better look at it up close, because with both of us behind the camera, there's no one to operate said camera to zoom, and well, that's just a big nightmare. So this was the best way to do this show when I started it. But this game, usually, of course, you know, in board games, we'll show a picture of the board and then show a picture of the actual playing field and all the pieces. You're not going to see that with this one. Ain't gonna happen. No offense. This board game's huge. How big? 9 square feet is how big this board game is. Not to mention that it has a bunch of actual cardboard buildings that go up. All the playing pieces are really huge. But this is actually the G.I. Joe Commando Attack game from Milton Bradley from '83. It came with a little iron-on patch, which is no longer there. Actually, it's '85. I apologize. It came with an iron-on patch that's no longer there.
I like that it says that you can play your regular Joes on it.
You can use your G.I. Joe figures on here. This game is really cool, and you can see kind of by the image here, and you'll see the steel image, how big this playing field truly is. It's huge, very, very big, but it's a very neat looking board game. The fact, of course, you've got all your, you've got all your cardboard buildings and your buildings there. As Carrie said, I'm gonna rip just a little section of this open so I can get one out here, because somebody taped the Ziploc bag. I don't know why you tape a Ziploc bag. Close it. Why you gotta tape it? But the stands for the figures, of course, you had your actual playing figure piece, which would snap into the stand. So you had a cardboard piece and a plastic stand, but you also had the ability to take the stands, and they actually have a foot peg hole on them where you could put a G.I. Joe peg hole. You could put the pegs, in the foot hole, and they would hold the G.I. Joe, so they were G.I. Joe stands. So you could actually use your Joes for this game as well. So if you had all the Joes that were in this game, you could use those Joes instead of the cardboard pieces, which was kind of neat. But this is the reason why you won't see a picture of this setup.
Because there's 2 of these in here.
There's 2 of these. And this is how big said board part of is. Now understand there's 3 sections altogether.
I think there's just 2. There's just 2?
There's 2. There's just 2 sections. But even at 2 sections, it is huge. It is a big, big board game. You will eventually see this on board. You will see us play this. How we're going to play it, I have not quite figured that out yet because I don't have a table big enough to fit it. So it might be an episode where Dan and I are on the floor the entire episode, which will be interesting. But this game is huge. It is a big, big, big game. And it's very unique too. It's one of those things that they don't make of. You know, they made a couple of board games. I think Milton Bradley actually made both the board games that were like this, that you could use your toys in lieu of the playing pieces that they came with. There's a Masters of the Universe game that actually you can use the figures as your playing pieces instead of the cardboard playing pieces on the game board. So this is a very, very cool game. Basically, it's you have to be the first to attack your enemy headquarters, and it's kind of like almost an oversized game of chess, kinda. Haven't read the rules on this one, but it looks brilliant. It looks amazing. And I cannot wait to play this game. So this is a great game. If you can find this out in the wild and it's complete, even if it's missing the patch, who cares about the patch? You don't need the patch.
You don't need the patch to play the game, right?
No, you don't need the patch to play the game. You just need all the pieces and the cardboard buildings to play the game. And it is, again, well worth picking up and finding because it is very freaking cool. So let's move on to the last board game to finish this episode up. Tell the people. Look what I found.
Yep. All right.
I found this awesome Milton Bradley 3D board game based on The Little Mermaid. This is one of the games that I had been looking for a while, as I've shown off a couple of these 3D board games. I believe we showed off Snow White. I want to say that I showed off 101 Dalmatians on this show, or on Flea Market Finds anyway, before it became Collection Expansion. But this is one of those games that I really wanted to find, and I had not found yet out in the wild. But Little Mermaid 3D board game is awesome. This actually came from a church sale that Carrie found for me. And it was actually, it is complete, but it actually had 2 sets of games in here, 2 sets of full cardboard pieces. So we kind of went through and picked up the best cardboard pieces that were ripped or torn and threw the rest of them away because there was really no necessary need for 2 pieces. This is really, really cute. It's a really cute game though. No reading required for this game. It's really simple rules. But as you can see, the 2 little girls and the boy looks extremely happy to be playing this game. The little boy is probably me. I was like, nah. Cute game though, lots of 3D spaces, lots of characters. All of your playing pieces are fish, which is kind of neat. This is something we will play on board. Again, it will be played. This will not get displayed in my creepy Little Mermaid shrine. This is going to go upstairs with the board games. For now, unfortunately, there's no way to display it down here, no good way to display it and make it look good.
Yeah,
so,
and plus it's a little beat up.
It's got some tape on the box, but the artwork still is just amazing artwork though on the front of the box. It's really cool. I love this picture of Ariel. That's really cute. But this is a really fun board game though, and I am looking forward to playing this. And we kind of put it together and looked at it, and it's kind of neat. So really, really fun board game. But there you go, gang. That'll bring us to the end of this episode of Devall's Collection Expansion Extravaganza right here on ToyWorldOrder.com. If you're not watching this on YouTube or not watching it on ToyWorldOrder.com for some crazy reason, you can go to youtube.com/ToyWorldOrder and hit subscribe on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Toy World Order today. It helps us out greatly, and it continues to allow us to do these amazing programs for you, like Collection Expansion, like Board, and so many others that are coming or have come by the time you see this. So make sure you do that. And gang, until next time, keep digging because you never know what you're going to find. Take care.